Well, for more on this, the House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy is with me now. How are you, sir? We've gone back and forth on this thing for a while now, and I have rarely seen a day with less drama when you're voting on something as significant as you're about to vote on today, okay? But I want to share something with you we found from Quinnipiac on the screen now. 52% of Americans in their survey disapprove about what they're hearing about the Republican tax plan. Also within that, only 60% of Republicans approve of it. Now, why would that be the case?
Well, maybe they haven't looked all the way through. When you look at the process of there being a tax cut and more jobs generated, I think at the end of the day they're going to support this. And when I look back at what Ronald Reagan going through his tax cut, not everybody supported that as well. But when we look back fondly at it, because it created more confidence in America, more jobs, and more income for individuals. Well, that's what's going to happen.
The other thing in that poll, and I think this is a little stunning here, and have you seen this poll, by the way?
I have not seen your poll.
Okay,
no.
So they say only 16% in their survey believe it will reduce their taxes. Now,
well, you know the great thing about that? The great thing about that, come January, they'll see in their first paychecks, just check your check, that you'll be making more because the withholding will be less.
In January.
Think about this, Bill. Well, it has to pass and it has to go into effect. But think of this. The average family of four, their first $55,000 they make, they'll pay nothing. Think of this, that the number of jobs that are going to come back to America. Think about how competitive we're going to become. Broadcom's already announced they're coming back. That's $20 billion a year in revenue. That's $9 billion they invested back every single year.
No, listen,
studies have shown time and again.
Yeah. Here's what I don't hear. I don't hear people saying, this is great. I don't hear CEOs going out publicly and saying, if they pass this thing, we're going to bring all this money back and it's going to be great for jobs in the American economy. Where is that argument?
I hope you watch this. I hope you watch the CEO of Broadcom, that's not an American company, that left America because the taxes became so high, standing in the Oval Office with the president and myself, saying that he's going to move the company back to America based upon this tax bill.
I agree with you, and I did hear that. It was 2 weeks ago. It was before the president went off to Asia.
So once this signs, you're going to hear a lot more of that.
Peter King, Republican from New York, he says you could lose all the seats in the Northeast. He's talking about every seat will be competitive. It's going to be a tough race. He says this is an unforced error. He's a no vote. What would you say to your colleagues, sir?
Well, each member has an opinion to vote how they like. That's their reason of why they ran here. But the one thing, when you look at this bill, and I happen to come from California, you eliminate the alternative minimum tax. You lower the 10% to 0, 15 to 12. Everybody starts getting a tax cut as you move forward. This is an ability to bring more jobs. Small business, the lowest rate it's been since before World War II. And think of this, we even lowered it further after it came through committee. You only pay 9% on the first $75,000. So for everyone who's ever dreamed of being an entrepreneur, here is your chance, here is your opportunity. So look back and look at this, and I'll tell you this. For those who want to vote no and want to defend the status quo, the government should take more of what you earn, that the IRS should treat you the way they have treated you, I don't believe in that.
Okay,
I believe we're better than this, and that's what this bill does.
One last point on the Peter King thing. Is there any talk or conversation or fear within your caucus that you may win short-term and lose long-term? In other words, you pass a bill that doesn't have the effect that you anticipate it to have.
Look, tax reform is not easy. You got to explain the bill. And the one thing, when you sit back and look at it, that you're going to lower rates, eliminate the alternative minimum tax, close loopholes, and have more money in the individual's pockets, I think you got to be strong enough to defend that and move forward. And on the long run, you win.
Thank you, sir.
America wins.
Yep, got it. Thank you. We'll watch the vote today. Expect it, what, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock this afternoon?
A little sooner than that. I think around 2, 2:30.
Fair enough. Thank you, sir. Please come back.